Did you know that they were using it on the news at the sign-off?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
It was okay. We said, wow, everybody must be getting the right idea.
So they're using it, but they're shaking it.
Yeah, they're doing
What do you think
this.
about that?
We didn't like it. But that's not how, I mean, we didn't do it this way, and we didn't do it this way. That's how we could tell, okay, they must be from Honolulu.
I will be here tomorrow at 6 with all the latest news and sports. Thanks for joining us. Take care of each other. See you tomorrow.
Good night. For a guy who's worked all over the world, good places, bad places, man, to see a newscast that ends like that, it felt pretty good to me. KHON was being sold to the Des Moines Register. They wanted somebody who has some news credentials. You're the man. So I come to Hawaii and I am the anchor man, but I'm also I'm running the show. I'm looking around me. I love Hawaii. I see the Shaka. I'm looking for something different. I had never seen anything like the Shaka, the way it was, so special. I saw people doing it at different kinds of get-togethers, so it always seemed perfect to me for Hawaii. At the end of a newscast, sometimes it's been pretty grim. It's nice to sign off with a feeling that, hey, things are okay. Don't worry. We're all in this together. So I said to the reporters, listen, when you go out, get some people together and give us the Shaka. Well, days went by and nobody came back with the Shaka. Whether they were embarrassed to ask people, whether they thought people would not want to do that, I don't know. But I got a little exasperated, so I grabbed a cameraman. I said, we're gonna do it. So I got a sign, and we made a sign that said, give us a Shaka, please, something like that. And we went out. It took no time at all. I swear you, in a couple of hours, I've got it up for a week, right? We just held up the sign, people were happy to do it. But you know, one of the benefits of it, if you did that, you were looking to see it, and you were telling your relatives to see it. Do you know what I did today? I went on TV. It had a kind of publicity you couldn't buy it. It was all positive. It was not negative. Nobody ever called up and said, how dare you use that? That's political. You're for somebody. I never had anything but a positive reaction. But in terms of where it came from, who originated it, who was to get the credit for it, I did not know. I just knew the common people use it, and I thought it was a pretty neat thing to do. It just means so many different things to different people, I think. But there is something in common, and it is that sense of aloha, and things are going to be okay. Nothing could be better at the end of a newscast than that.
When Paul started this whole Shaka thing on the news, 1979, which by Shaka history is pretty late, but this really showed how if they put it on the news, everybody knows what that is. Otherwise, they cannot put it on that kind of media. But can you think of anybody else that people would generally say they think who invented this Shaka?
Fasi?
Yep, Mayor Fasi put this on everything. That's why so many people think he invented it. Did you think so?
I think so, because that's what everybody said to us. Frank Fasi, I said, what?
Like Mayor Fasi, he gets the job done.
This is a sign that is very powerful, and one of the guys that made it such is Frank Fasi. It became his sign. It was a stroke of brilliance. You didn't have to put his name up or anything. You just put the Shaka sign up in black and yellow, and you know that was Fasi. Hey, Fasi, you're supporting Fasi.
Back then, we always, at least I did, associate it with Frank Fasi. So if you went like this, it's like vote for Fasi.
Frank Fasi put this on everything. He even had a Shaka party as opposed to Republicans and Democrats.
We got the iconic Fasi Road sign, one of them. I think this was 80s, or in the 80s.
And this one.
That was 74. Looks like the 74 one. Well, this was the first one. Pretty modern, I guess you could, 70s style.
Because I don't think he had it in
Because I was looking at pictures
68.
and other iterations and graphic designs. I know this is the first one because I had it on my car. Back then, there was no assigned meaning to the Shaka. Dad would say, hey, how's it? You're like, how you doing? Good to see you.
That became the symbol of his campaign. So automatically, people would use it. I remember when just he and I were waving signs when he first ran, and we were being Waipahu, wherever, And just the two of us.
It was 1976 that he first used the Shaka sign. He thought it represented the little guy and that people could relate to it. He decided to ask his campaign staff to kick it around, and he was late to the meeting. And when he got there, they had already voted 19-1 against using it. And he said, well, I'm the two, and it's 19-2, and the two win. So they adopted the use of the Shaka sign. The city council decided they wanted to deny him the use of his name on public works signs that were put at building sites around town. So Fasi said, okay, and left his name off, but he put the Shaka symbol on instead. And the city council was not able to prevent him from doing that.
My husband didn't need anybody else's approval to do what he thought was right. And he did it, you know, like the bus.
Mayor Fasi really pushed the needle in converting public transit on the island of Oahu from a private operation into a municipal city service. And what I love is that the bus is iconic to everyone who lives here, or, you know, especially those who have grown up here. So our operators always felt it a prerogative to thank people for letting them in, for just, you know, sharing that driving with aloha, driving with that courtesy that we're renowned for in Hawaii. And so a lot of times you'd find them trying to maneuver their arm outside of their small driver's window that maybe only opens a foot or so while driving, and get that shaka outside of the window. So we wanted to make sure that anytime someone was courteous enough, had enough aloha to let us back in or to let us change a lane, that didn't go unanswered. Because, you know, aloha doesn't exist without mahalo. So what we engineered with our maintenance folk was a special switch on board the bus that got labeled Shaka. What it would do is you touch that switch, and for a period of 5 to 10 seconds, it would throw a Shaka, and it would also say mahalo on the back. Pretty universally, everyone would say, if every single bus did this to me, I would let them in all the time.
It can mean anything to anybody, you know, it's just...
Well, not anything.
Well, whatever. Whatever, something positive, positive,
yeah.
And something friendly,
It
lovable.
spreads joy among people. And now, I mean, it's an emoji, so when you write something and it's like, hey, right on.
Right,
you
right.
use the emoji.
Right,
you know?
right.
Or
Which
good.
I do. I use that a lot.
Do you?
I do. Don't you see it on my text?
All 50 million of them, yes.
And I always use it with a heart.
Yes, you do. So a shaka and a heart.
Right.
It's very important.
The shaka is almost like a part of our life, you know, because he brought it in and it just grew with him. And, you know, people just associate the shaka with my hubby, so I just love it.
We actually know that Mayor Fasi didn't invent the shaka, because years before he started using it in his campaign, many entertainers here used it. But not just local entertainers from around the globe. And one of the biggest entertainers ever used it in 1973. Do you know who that was?
Elvis came to Hawaii many times, and his concert here in Honolulu was the first ever to be broadcast via satellite. So millions and millions of people saw him at the end of his show flash the shaka. Yeah, I mean, he was the king. And he showed the shaka to millions of people who had never seen it before.
He definitely loved Hawaii.
Paradise Hawaiian Style.
Hawaiian Style.
1966.
Yeah.
With Elvis.
They just was at the Polynesian Cultural Center. And all of us was all sitting here to make it look like it was a lot of people.
It looked like a lot of people.
Yeah.
He's here making many movies.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any idea where he might have picked up the shaka from?
Let's see.
Wow, okay.
Maybe
So if it's
maybe
earlier.
he learned it from the other, entertainers too.
Hawaii's shows and showrooms were in its heyday in the early 1970s. We probably had 20 shows going on at any one time. And so these entertainers, when they were done with their show, would often go to someone else's very late show. So if you were around at 3 in the morning in Hawaii and you knew the place to go, you could see Don Ho and his dancers and probably Dick Jensen and other top entertainers hanging out with each other.
TV, bro. Felix, go.
Rap, he was a genius. He made all kinds of different shakas, And then, of course, the blow-up shaka, like that, and then the cranking shaka, Get different kinds. People are always creative.
I think the reason why comedians really gravitated to the shaka was because you can use it in so many different ways. It's versatile. It's a great logo. It's a great flag for all of us in Hawaii. And it kind of had this monkish country attitude back in the day. And you really knew that they were local if they used it. So comedians love using it. I use it all the time. When you finish on stage, shoots.
I did do a song. It was called Super Shaka. Super Shaka Jakalaka, Espiala Doshes, Samdriam Driam Dria, and then I would do a joke. I'm not sure who claimed it. Anybody could have in those days,
You all know Leonard's famous Portuguese sweetbread and the traditional Portuguese loaf. I know you do, and all the fresh things.
People have thought was Lucky Luck, but I'm not sure. Lucky Luck was famous for advertising Leonard's Bakery, and I remember he used to take the malasadas and his face, he would break the malasada to shred. Oh, this looks so, oh no, this baga. And he probably did the shaka, I don't remember, but I would think so. Because a lot of times guys who did the commercials would tell the entertainer, do the shaka at the end. So that probably would have happened with lots of us.